If you haven't done so already, please silence your cell phones. My name is Susan Q. Miller, and I'm going to be your facilitator for today. And when I heard about the theme of the month of March, I raised my hand and said, I want to do this. The theme, the overriding theme, is feminism. And as a woman, feminism holds great interest for me. When I told my husband, Todd, that I was going to be talking about feminism, he said, oh, Susan, please, don't get on your bandwagon about all the reasons why women have been discriminated against for so many years. Thank you for your kind warning, Todd. I'm going to be riding my bandwagon. Reverend Tina and I are going to talk about what feminism means. And we're going to be talking about how it affects not just us, women, but all of us. So stay tuned, okay? Okay, if you have an announcement that you haven't already brought up to me, please fill out one of those papers on the back table and someone will bring it up later. And I want to welcome everyone here in person and all those on Zoom. So if you feel able and willing, please stand and wave to all those folks out there in Zoom land. And if you're new here and you want to receive our newsletter, you want to learn about our website or our activities, please ask any one of us about how to get connected to our email list. So the announcements, I'll ask you in a minute, Becky, because I heard you say that you have one. We have lots of them today. This is the first Sunday of the month. Do you know what that means? Birthdays. How many people have March birthdays? Raise your hand, please. Pat? Yay! Anybody else? Just Pat? Well, Pat, we have birthday cake for you, but we're all going to get some too.
I think we're going to sing it. Yeah.
And we're going to sing happy birthday?
Yes.
Okay. Sure, why not? Birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Pat, happy birthday to you. Okay. Probably all of you noticed that table out there with a whole bunch of little cards on it and different numbers on each card. The care team wants you to look at that card and find out which number you belong to, and there's going to be cupcakes on the table with numbers on them, and you're supposed to grab your cake, of course, and then take it to that table that matches the number. They've gone to a lot of trouble to put together geographically connected groups, and so this way you're going to get to meet your care team and the team leader. And if you're feeling isolated, we have a new group it's called Good Company Group, and it offers an opportunity for people to get together and chat. And that meets on Mondays from 11 to noon. The Sunday Service Committee is going to be holding our monthly meeting at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. And if you want to join us but can't make it here, there is a link in our newsletter, so you could join us via Zoom. Also, Tina's going to have her office hours, but if you want to meet with her because of that meeting on Tuesday, you're going to meet from 12 to 1 or after the regular service meeting.
No, because there's another meeting then.
Oh, well, that's not on my list. Well, okay, so then call her, email her, text her, and find out
Other
when.
days of the week,
when you can connect. Okay. Truly Mindful Tuesday Meditation is going to meet on Tuesday, of course, at 11 o'clock. On Tuesday again at 6:30 to 8 is the Dharma Buddhist Meditation Group. And this Thursday, March 5th, the Widowing Tribe is going to meet from 11 to noon. And the tribe is available to anyone who has lost a partner. It's not connected to any kind of religious group, and anyone, it's a supportive group for anyone who's experiencing any stage of grief. The next announcement is about the First Friday hike. So we're going to be doing an easy 2-mile walk on the west side of the Cochise Stronghold near Tombstone. See Molly if you have any questions. I'd like to ask Molly to come up and share information about our stewardship campaign.
So I've been asked today to speak about why I pledged to the church. And I could give you all the same reasons that everybody else has already given you up here and bore you to death, so you don't need to hear that again. But I do want to tell you why I am supporting this particular congregation. It's the laughter. The laughter that greets me at the door, the good humor in our services, the camaraderie at coffee hour, and especially the nonstop laughter at the women's lunch every month. So I've asked Julia to join me up here because Julia took it to heart when Tina told her that a joke before the offertory increases the income. So she's going to join me now to see if we can put you in the mood for the pitch.
You know, it's funny. It's funny. UUs will always give you a penny for your thoughts, and yet everybody has to put in their 2 cents. You know, that's a clear profit of a penny. We ought to be raking it in.
Everybody knows that UUs are darn frugal. When we die and walk toward that light, it's just to turn it off.
Well, we've got to raise the money for our budget. This church can't afford not to pay attention.
Hey, did you hear about the guy who won the $1 million lottery and donated a quarter of it to the church?
Yeah. Now he only has $999,999.75.
Wouldn't it be great if we could get a windfall instead of having to come up with the budget all by ourselves? Maybe we should try gambling.
You know the easiest way to come home from a casino with a small fortune?
No, tell me.
Go in with a large one.
And I know that Julia is a big fan of knock-knock jokes. We're going to let her do a few. But Julia, do you know that what they awarded the inventor of the knock-knock joke?
The Nobel Prize. Oh. Knock, knock. Coin. Can you spare some change for a joke? Knock, knock. Dime. Dime to invest and watch it grow. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Check.
Check who?
Check out these jokes. They're priceless. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Invest.
Invest who?
Invest in laughter. It pays dividends. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Tank.
Check who?
You're welcome. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Budget.
Budget who?
Budget didn't see this pitch coming. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Donor. Oops. That's Molly's joke. She wants to tell one too.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Donor. Don't forget that this is a fundraising pitch. And speaking of pitch, I'm asking the choir to come up now. run from Julia.
I come here as a stranger to your church community, and I'm looking for a new home I can call my family. But I won't accept a credo or go down on bended knee. I seek righteousness, not God.
Surely you must be a you. You are thinking much like we do. In this church, we honor your view, and we have brought not God.
Yes, I think I've heard of UUs. You're that cult with no beliefs.
That common misconception never fails to give us grief, for we pride ourselves on conscience, and our reasoning is chief. We're so smart, we're rarely wrong.
Surely I must be a UU. I am thinking much like we do. In this church we honor your view,
Even when it's clearly wrong.
So if I'm to be a UU, what do you expect of me?
We have rent and dues and bills to pay for Sunday morning coffee. It's the price of infrastructure. If your thinking's to be free, you support the Church of Rod.
Raise a cheer for all the UUs. We're teachers and pay their dues. Hallelujah, shout the good news. We support the Church of Rod. Raise a cheer for all the UUs who make pledges and pay their dues. Hallelujah, shout the good news. We support the Church of Rod.
In case you want to know who Rod is, he was our minister for 8 years.
Okay, I messed up there. I was supposed to tell you all that. The choir's actually been working on a new pledge song, but Tina reminded us today that we are welcoming new members, and she suggested this song that was from 2009 when Rod Richards was our minister. That's where the Rod came from. And I agreed, because the lyrics expose some of the darker truths about Unitarian Universalists, and new members deserve to know. So yes, Rod Richards was our minister, and the church was called the Unitarian Universalist Church of Southeast Arizona, UCSEA, or UCSE for short. We'd been struggling to come up with the better name after singing the song that Rod didn't know about. Rod, being the shy, unassuming person he is, he came up and said, well, we've been wanting to change the name. If this is what you've chosen, I guess.
The Church of Rod. Thank you so much, Ricky. Yeah, and Ricky gave us that amazing party on the 15th, 2 weeks ago. So, yeah.
I just wanted to make a brief statement. Thank you all that have turned in your pledge cards. You can see your number is circled in red. And the box is empty today. So if you haven't turned in your pledge card, please do it soon. Thank you.
Thank you. So each month, usually on the first Sunday, we say together our covenant of right relations. Several years ago, before my time here, which is almost 8 years this fall, the group got together. There'd been some tension, and a group of people within the church met over a weekend and came up with a covenant of how we want to behave with each other. This is not a creed. If you don't like it, you don't have to say it, but I hope you'll absorb it or say it aspirationally. But we repeat it once a month to remind ourselves. And humor is in it, which is really good. So please read with me our covenant of right relations. We, the congregation of Sky Island Unitarian Universalist Church, Covenant 2, treat all beings with compassion and kindness. Listen actively and speak responsibly. Seek understanding and be open to change. Acknowledge our imperfections and differences with good humor. Devote our energies to creating and maintaining a vibrant, beloved community among ourselves and in the greater world.
As we light our chalice, hear the words from Reverend Richard Trudeau, Minister Emeritus of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Weymouth, Massachusetts. You who gather here today, help us make this church a refuge for the world, a place where the rules are different. May this be a place where no experience is necessary, where people are encouraged to risk new things, where a university administrator can try her hand at plumbing if she chooses, or a plumber can help manage the finances, or a banker can teach 5-year-olds. May this be a place where people always feel that their efforts have been worthwhile and their energy well spent. May this be a place where, as in a children's baseball league, everyone gets to play. Oh, you who gather here today, help us make this church a refuge from the world, a place where the rules are different. May no one feel invisible here or feel worried about what others might be thinking of them. May no one be bored here. If a person isn't interested in what the minister is talking about today, may he or she be excited by the music or by a conversation at the coffee hour. May this be a place where people are touched, if not by something said, then perhaps by something sung, or by the light coming through the windows, or by the sense that the people who came here support one another. May this be a place where everyone feels safe, safe to follow their own thoughts wherever they lead, safe to believe whatever they must, and safe to share whatever is on their minds and whatever is in their hearts. You who gather here today, help us make this church a refuge from the world, a place where the rules are different, a place where our wells can fill up once again, where we can be refreshed and renewed, so that when we return to the world with our batteries recharged, we can transform the world into a place where the rules are different. May it be so.
And now those of you who plan to sign the book to become new members, please come forward, and so may our president of our board, Jim Gillen. I have presents to give all of you when more of them come in. And if you would come up here and sign, some of you get to sign the old guest book, and some of you will sign our new membership book. Okay, so come on up, Judy. So you sign your name, your address, your phone number, and your email. Wow.
Can we hope for anything else at this age? Oh, yeah, are these people pledging to accept abroad?
What I can do is put email those right on later. Okay. Thank you so much. And now you'll shake hands or bow, however you feel, to our new member. Welcome all. We are working on special presents for everyone. All righty. See, name, phone number.
Let's see, which one should I be today, Diane or Diana?
Oh, yes, okay. So this is Diane or Diana Jones.
Either one.
Either one works. And we just had Judy Riddle sign.
I do. I do.
And
My birth certificate says Diana,
oh, Diana.
but I have many nicknames.
Well, okay. You can just say email and put it in later.
I'll put it there. Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
Jennifer, you need my glasses? Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't bring my glasses.
So we have, yeah, you're the last, I think they're last two. You can go ahead. Oh, let me take a look. I think you did. I think I saw you in here. Yes. But I will announce you. And if I don't find you, I'll have you sign it later for today. But I think you've done. I'm pretty sure I have you here. Cindy File. I think you're in here. Good. Not I can. Ooh. Maybe we should have Ron so you two aren't split up, or do you want to be in separate books? Do you want to be in separate books? Okay, Ron has to come before you then. Thank you. So that was Jennifer Lacassil. This is Cindy File. She signed a little bit ago. And Trevor, if you'd stand up, Trevor Stanton didn't think he'd be here, so he signed early too. So these two also joined. Yay, go shake hands with Jim. I don't think you need to sign. Now, Ron Adams is going to be the last person to sign a book that people started signing in January 2000, well, from 1997 on, actually. So you are Corey. So
I have to put all this info?
I know, sorry. I can put in your email for you and your phone number, just put your name in.
I am. The sign of the devil.
It's okay, I can put in
Oops.
the rest.
Okay, thank you.
No
Do I
worries.
give you my checkbook now, or?
Yeah, just give me blank checks. So this is a little bigger. I couldn't find anything in Tucson. Sierra Vista had books this size. So I guess I should just put a line down the middle. Okay. It's going to be on the front once we print out in color again. We don't have a printer that prints in color right now. Alrighty. So just sign your name, your address, and leave space. I'll put in the rest.
Okay, just your name.
Yeah. Just do your name, and I'll do the rest. So this is Catherine Detweiler. And I'll fill out the rest for you later.
Okay.
And I'll get Lou. And now,
Hey, family!
and here comes Lou Detweiler. And you can sign there. and I'll put the
Right
rest in for
where
you.
your finger is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where did y'all come from?
Where did you live before? All over.
Georgia, yeah.
Georgia.
Georgia.
All righty. Welcome all.
For centuries, women have been discriminated against in all kinds of unthinkable ways. We've been discouraged from, frowned upon for our interest in, and sometimes legally restricted from things as simple as attending a funeral because of our delicate nature. Throughout history, women were primarily discouraged and socially restricted from learning to read. Rather than universally banned by law, formal education was often denied to us. From the Middle Ages through the 19th century, women's literacy was hindered by the belief that education somehow damaged women's health and caused hysteria or distracted them from domestic duties, like pumping out babies and cleaning toilets. Education was primarily given to men. And then when women were given access to education, we were discouraged from pursuing higher education in medicine and science. Even in my own family, my parents, who didn't have a lot of money, had no qualms about paying for my brother's education. But I was a girl, and I was going to get married, and I was going to have babies. And so, if I wanted an education, I had to get it myself. Women were not allowed for many centuries to own land or sign any kind of legal documents. Properties were always handed down from one male heir to another. And when it came to health care specific to women's needs, it was often limited or underfunded. And then, of course, we all know about this rather fluctuating law, rule, whatever, about whether or not a woman is legally forced to carry a baby for 9 months that she doesn't want, or otherwise end up in jail, perhaps. Wow. It seems insane to me that I do not have the right in some states to decide what I want to do with my own body. And then when it comes, yay! And then when it comes to things like incest and rape, how many of those crimes are ever really reported? I know the Me Too movement made a lot of headway there for a while. But let's face it, women assume the guilt. They assume the shame. And if they're halfway intelligent, they understand that after going through a very humiliating exposure of all the details in court, their odds of having a ruling in their favor is pretty dim. Even things like equal pay for the same job or a higher level position, women are still, in many cases, being discriminated against because it's a man's club and men pass the baton from one to the next. Consider this. The very first woman to be appointed to the Supreme Court, Sandra Day O'Connor, was in 1981. How many years has this country been in existence? And when did we get our first woman vice president? Wow, 2021, Kamala Harris. And guess what, folks? Let's face it, Mexico has a female president, and it's one of the most macho countries on the planet. And here we are, and we have not had one yet. We are behind. But then, when you think about it, it shouldn't be a surprise, because the fact is, in the 15th Amendment to the Constitution happened in 1870. That's when black men were given the right to vote. Almost 50 years later, in 1919, women were given the right to vote. 50 years, 49 years. Are we third-class citizens? Is that it? Here I am on my bandwagon, Todd. It seems that women's voices started to emerge in the 1970s. We were finally being heard. That's when Roe versus Wade was initiated. That's when sex-based discrimination that's when sex-based discrimination banned women receiving financial aid for education that was funded by federal monies. That's when unmarried women had access to contraception. It had previously only been granted to married women. And that's when in California anyway, that's when a lot of women's health, not clubs, but there were different kind of health stations that were opened up for women exclusively in the 1970s. In 1974, the Equal Credit Opportunities Act was passed, and it allowed women to apply for loans and credit cards. Wow. 1974. In 1977, I graduated from graduate school. In 1978, I had a job making more than double what I'd ever made in the past. I was 33 years old, and I went to apply for a credit card. I was unmarried. The bank manager refused me unless I got a co-signature from my mother. I'm 33 years old. I make way more than my mother makes, and I refused. And I said that I would file a sex-based discrimination lawsuit. Guess what? I got a credit card. And a year later, I got a loan to buy my first house. So, is it any wonder that I'm on my bandwagon here? It's just plain unfair. It seems like since biblical times, the serpent and the apple, women have been discriminated against. And the bottom line is that feminism is not about just benefiting women. It's about benefiting all of us, because feminism advocates for political, economic, and social equality for all sexes. It challenges gender stereotypes, and by empowering women to pursue their own path, by dismantling the barriers and removing the prescriptions that we're all forced to live by, it actually opens up the playing field that allows all individuals to pursue goals free from gender-based restrictions. It's not just about women, and it's not just about women in combat boots saying bad things about men. Feminism recognizes that true equality benefits everyone, including men and non-binary people. Okay, now for joys and sorrows. We are a caring congregation and share what gives us joy and what weighs heavily on our hearts. And I'm going to read the joys and sorrows that I have here and then add a stone to our water for each one. And if there's anyone on Zoom who has a joy or a sorrow, you can either put it in the chat box or you can turn off your mute now and speak it out loud.
I don't see anything so far.
Okay. Well, I have a couple joys and sorrows here. Okay. We already talked about the First Friday hike. That's a joy. Okay. Emily Duchin. Dushan.
Emily Duchamp.
Emily, we're going to miss you.
No, she's not leaving. She's just moving.
Oh, she's just moving. Okay. Okay. Emily and her family are moving to Hereford. You're still going to come, huh? Oh, good. Oh, great. They're overjoyed. They're overjoyed because they're moving to a 1909 historic mink ranch. Wow. And they look forward to many days of gardening and hiking in the yard. Wow. That sounds wonderful. And from Tricia, thanks to everyone's generosity, we were able to give over $400 to each Boys and Girls Club. And next Sunday, we're going to be collecting for the EAF funds.
Which helps a lot of people.
One more from Tricia. This is a sorrow. So sad. One bad man killed, but so many others killed too. Both our troops and the Iranian civilians. Any other joys and sorrows?
Come. Oh, that was it. Okay.
I have a joy, and that is, I think it's just wonderful to feel part of this family. I am so happy to be here with all of you and to feel safe and to feel that all of us, I want to hope that all of us feel safe to share who we really are with each other. And I have a sorrow that so many people in the world don't have almost anything, including support. So I want to put,
I did.
oh, good.
I wanted to say exactly what you said about my joy, about having this new family and becoming a part of a group of people who don't judge, who love, who are kind, and happy. And I am just so grateful to you all for inviting us to join us. Thank you so much.
Repeat it.
Catherine just said that she essentially agrees with what I said about the joy of being part of this family and being safe and loved, and you can be who you are.
I'm Reverend Tina Squire. I use she, her pronouns. And as she said, most of us have had a morning where we woke up with grief. I also think most of us here, if not all, have had a moment where we felt invisible. We raised our hand and the teacher ignored us, always. We were the youngest and our siblings ignored us, always. We were the oldest and we had to put aside what we wanted and take care of the youngest, always. We were in a group from work and no one heard us until someone else said the same words out loud. Or we were with a group who were younger or older, somehow different, and we just weren't seen. It was amazing how we could say words that weren't heard until they were repeated by the right person, in the right way, at the right time. Who here has ever felt invisible? Yeah. And that is part of what feminism is about. I went to a high school, and as I was leaving, a new headmaster came, and we spoke, and he wrote out of the conversation we had his first column for the school, and he said, "This place is a feminist place. Even the boys can hear their own voice." In those days, there was one boy for every 4 girls, so it worked out well for us. But hearing your own voice and then also being heard, that is not only incredibly important for each one of us, but you have gifts to give to the world. And when that is denied, the World Bank works on making sure that when they are helping countries be less corrupt, when they are bringing in different kinds of pesticides, everything creative on the edges, they work to educate girls, because development only happens when women are also educated. but we have often been forgotten. So much of what Susan is talking about today is writing that history by naming some of the women that have been forgotten. And sometimes it may be ignorance. And if you've spent generations not naming women, you'll forget to put them in the history books. But a lot of it seems willful to me. When I was living overseas and dealing with very much more conservative Christian churches than I like to, because that's what was in the Army Chapel, they had a book that in the back of which they described it exhaustively, they reported all the metaphors for God that came out of that Bible they loved to quote. Strangely, they forgot every single metaphor that referred to God as female in any way. God as a mother bear, or a hen protecting her young, God actually giving birth to Israel. All of that forgotten, or not, consciously not put in. And I've often wondered, because they so prize the one part of the Bible that says women don't speak up in church, be obedient, to your husbands, written by Paul. It might not have been Paul. Anyway, they wanted, how dare anyone ascribe divine qualities to something female, to give women power. I'm sure it was a conscious decision. And when I look out at our world and I see how we don't listen or list women, there are so many ways we put up this facade in front of a person to hide the real person. Women are not intelligent enough. Women are clearly made, and this is not exactly a political statement because it applies to men on both sides of any aisle. Young women are not valued. Older men are allowed to do whatever they want to them. When Monica Lewinsky had her affair as a 20-something intern with the most powerful man in the world, was he shamed? Was he kicked out of office? She's the one who had to go into exile and go to graduate school in England and not reappear in the life of this country publicly for decades. What do we do to many different types of women and other human beings to hide them behind a facade so that we don't even see them? And we participate in that because we don't really know better, or when we know better, we forget to do it. Women of color have extra put on them. If you're Asian, you might be seen as an exotic, delicate beauty, or a long-suffering, hard-working, quiet person, but you aren't allowed to name exactly who you are. If you're an African-American woman, you could be angry and dangerous. Don't you show any pride. You might actually be hypersexualized, some kind of wild whore. That is why I absolutely adore the poem, And Still I Rise. Because Maya Angelou, born Marguerite Johnson, when she was young, actually gave up her voice for a while, consciously. She suffered a trauma, and when she named the person who hurt her, he was killed. And so she believed her voice as a young child had too much power. And so for 5 years, she didn't speak, until she had a teacher who noticed how much she loved poetry. And the teacher said, a poem isn't a poem till you say it out loud. And she has been saying them and writing them ever since. She was often not taken seriously by critics because she was much more of a spoken than written poet. But she has the last laugh now. What do we, if you ever look at Facebook or Instagram or see any reels pop up on social media, it's all spoken word poetry, and it's powerful. And she has a place in that. But what she did, according to Hilton Alls, she was the first African American who was able to put herself at the center of her stories, at least as a woman. Before that, you couldn't put yourself, or you couldn't put an African American heroine at the middle of it all. And as he says, she was the first one to write about blackness from the inside, without apology or defense. The world was ready to hear her. And so, She named the facade that would be put in front of her as a black woman. She didn't just name the elephant in the room. She went out and danced with it and wrote on it, let it out into public, made it real. She's, in case, you were worried that black women can be angry, she says, oh, does my sassiness offend you? Does my haughtiness offend you? Do you take it awful hard because I laugh like I got gold mines digging in my own backyard? And what about as an overly sexual, crazed woman? Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? And finally, naming the deepest humiliation, the deepest entrenched way African Americans have been pushed down and humiliated in our country. She names it as a point of pride. Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain I rise. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. Now that is one way to become visible, right? How many of us can claim our own voice, see the ways that people are trying to hide us, put us down, grab us by our body parts, demean us, belittle us, make us less powerful? How do we stand up and make all of that visible and claim it with pride? It's a good question. I don't know if we can be Maya Angelou, but hopefully we can still rise.
When Reverend Tina and I were preparing for today's service, she asked if there were any women whom I admired who I thought had gone unrecognized. Sure, of course. I could probably think of lots of women. But the women who rose to the top of my particular list were the women who went unrecognized for their immense contributions to the first Oxford English Dictionary. So, the women who contributed so much to this first edition, Elizabeth and Jemina Brown contributed over 16,000 citation slips to the project. Edith and Ellen Thompson were prolific contributors. They contributed thousands of quotes from 1884 to 1928, yet they remained largely invisible in the official history. The poets Catherine Bradley and Edith Cooper wrote under the name Michael Field, and they submitted over 8,000 slips. Unfortunately, much of what all of these women contributed was not even included in the first edition. The initial OED that was published in the 1920s heavily favored male Victorian perspectives, omitting numerous words specific to women's experiences and failing to acknowledge all the women who helped create the lexicon. I have to wonder how this creation of the know-it-all dictionary that omitted female language and female perspective influenced culture for years.
So our closing words come from a UU lay leader and speaker. And you wonder probably why I picked two males writers today, but they're talking about being visible instead of invisible. As we extinguish this flame, may we carry its warmth into the world, not as a memory, but as a promise that you deserve a place where your voice matters, where your laughter is treasured, and your silence is honored. You deserve a circle that sees your scars and your strength, your doubts and your radiance, and holds them all with care. Let us be that circle for one another, a community of fierce welcome, wild grace, and radical hope. Go knowing you belong here. You always have. Go in peace.